What's up, everybody? So, Joe Biden just announced that he's going to be running for president again next year in 2024. And I'm going to tell you why he shouldn't even be allowed to run for president. All right? So, let's talk about ageism for a moment. When you hear the word ageism, generally that's used to describe discriminating against people because they're older. So, for example, let's say a 60-year-old guy wanted to go work as a pizza delivery driver, and the manager, whoever was supposed to do the hiring, said, "Oh no, I think you're too old to do this," right? That's ageism, okay? And so people tend to try to do the same thing with the presidency. They're like, "Oh, you can't say that a person shouldn't be president because they're too old. That's ageism," right? But there's one problem. There's already reverse ageism with deciding who's president. And that's the minimum amount or the minimum age that a person must be to be president. So in the United States, in case anybody doesn't know, per the Constitution of the United States, a person must be at least 35 years old to become president, right? So why is it that basically there's ageism against younger people, but not ageism against older people? Okay, and I'm not saying that anyone of any age should be president. Say like a 15-year-old or a 10-year-old. Okay, someone's going to attempt to get ridiculous with it. I understand, the human brain develops over time. And so say it was the law that, okay, you got to be at least like 20 or in your early 20s, say 25, at least 25 to be president. That's by that time your brain is fully developed, something like that. I understand that, right? But this 35-year-old number is arbitrary for one, right? Okay. But if we're going to acknowledge that a person can be too young and too immature to be president because their brain's not developed or whatever it is, right? We also need to realize that at some point someone can become too old to become president as well. If you could be too young because either inexperience or just because, like I said, your brain hasn't developed or whatever, then you also could be too old where your brain has gone to a point where it's not working properly anymore. You're just not in your right state of mind. At some point, you're not in the right state of mind to be president of the United States. This is not a pizza delivery driver. This is not some average job. This is the president of the United States, the person with the nuclear codes, etc. So again, if we're going to have a minimum age, we should have a maximum age. I don't know. I don't know what the minimum age should be. Is 35 a good number? I mean, that number was conjured up hundreds of years ago. So maybe that's too old now. There's someone who might argue, hey, maybe it should be as low as like 25. Maybe. Okay. As far as the upper limit, again, I don't know. But I do know. I don't know. Should it be 60, 65, 70? I don't know. But I do know that 80 years old and above is too old to be president, in which Joe Biden is. Joe Biden is already currently 80 years old, so by next year he's going to be 81, and that's too old to be president. So, it's not that I don't think he just shouldn't be president. I don't think he should even be legally allowed to run for president, just as currently a 34-year-old shouldn't be. But that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next video.